And welcome back to Brian's Beat. We are going to open up the phone lines in just a little bit at 508-996-0500, toll free 877-996-1420. Barry Depina is in studio today. He is the youngest son of Donald Depina. We have, first of all, I want to thank you for coming over to the cab stand yesterday and giving that little pep speech, for lack of a better term, to the drivers. Why don't you first introduce yourself and give a little of that speech that you gave yesterday, please.
Oh, my name is Barry Depina. I'm 29. I'm the youngest of Donald. And first of all, I want to say thank you to Bluebird Cab. I feel the need to say thank you to them because, you know, the owners and all of you, the drivers, my dad loved you guys. It was his family, you know.
Yeah, we loved him.
It was his family. He loved driving a cab. Amongst other things, my dad loved driving a cab. And I was going to my father's house yesterday, and as we know, he lived right up the street from Bluebird. And I saw that it was empty, and I just felt the urge. I don't know if it was my dad, I don't know what it was, but I felt the urge that I needed to go in there and say something. So I walked in there and I asked if the microphone, all the drivers could hear the microphones. And they said yes. I said, would you mind keying up the mic for me? I would like to say something. And as you know, you walked in during half of that. I told all the drivers, you know, that my dad loved them. He loved them. He loved working for the company, and he loved working with you. It wasn't just that he loved driving a cab. He loved driving a cab for Bluebird. And, you know, it's a dangerous job. We all know that. Some people take it for granted. I mean, this has affected my family, and I can tell you nobody in my family takes it for granted. But with that said, my dad knew the risks, but he didn't care. He still loved being around you guys. I mean, he would wake up on the mornings that he had to go to work, and he would there was something about him on those days. He loved meeting new people. He was a great man. And I just told the drivers that my dad would not want anybody to be upset about this. If anybody knew my father, his personality was huge. I mean, the man had a heart the size of Texas. Okay? And the last thing he would want is all of you guys to be sad and crying. Yes, you can mourn his death, but he would want you to celebrate his life more than anything. And that's a little bit basically of what I told everybody. I mean, everything I said to everybody yesterday, they knew it. Everybody knew it. But to hear it, that's another thing. To know that it's not lost, you know.
Would I be wrong, Barry, in saying that you, your sister, your older brother really didn't want Donald to drive anymore?
I didn't want my dad to drive. As far as my brother and sister goes, I would be correct in assuming that. I never really had this conversation with them. I've had this conversation with my father several times. I'm a tow truck driver, and he was nervous about me being out there, and, you know, God forbid something happened to me on the side of the road. And I told my father a long time ago that if he quit driving cabs, I would quit driving a tow truck. And he said, okay, that's a deal, because I know you'll never quit driving a tow truck. And that's the same passion he had for cab driving I have for tow trucks. And that's the thing about my father. He might not have known anything about my job, but he loved being in my truck. He loved watching me do what I do. And he was interested in it because I was. So with that said, I didn't want my dad driving a cab, but I knew how much it meant to him, and I knew the type of person he was. And that's
his blood.
That's it. You know what that is? That's like me asking my father not to care about veterans.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up, because one of the things you did mention yesterday is that you would like to have your father honored by being buried at the National Cemetery in Bourne.
That's at the very least, that's something that I feel he deserves. It's not necessarily that he wants it, but he deserves that. He gave everything to this country, this city, this state. And, I mean, in the end, he gave his life. With that said, it's not going to make up for the loss of my father, but it's going to be nice knowing that that's where he wanted to be, and he wants to be by the side of his brothers. That's all he wanted, and at the very least, if I can facilitate that and make that happen, then I feel I've done him good. I've done him right.
Barry Depina, son of Donald Depina, in studio on Brian's Beat today. We also spoke in regards to how the city might want to honor your dad. He used to be the veterans agent in town. And I just happened to bring up, I don't know how you really feel about this 12 hours later, but maybe changing the name to the Veterans Transition House, which he helped to found, calling it the Depina Veterans Transition House or something akin to that.
I would love that. I would love any recognition for my father, whether it be the renaming of that. My father was, he absolutely, there was two places in this world that he absolutely loved being at, and it's one of the places was the South End parking lot where the boat docks are, and the old I can't think of the restaurant, Davy's Locker, the old Davy's Locker. He loved that place, but the other place that he absolutely loved was the parking lot across the street from the Garden downtown that they turned into a park.
Oh yeah.
My dad loved sitting on the bench out there during the middle of the day, just watching people go by, smelling the smells of the city, and smoking his cigarettes and just talking to people. And
well, I don't know about smelling the smells of the city.
Yeah,
sometimes it can get a little rank out there.
It can. But anybody who's lived in this city long enough and then leaves this city, I guarantee you they miss it. I left this city for a little while, and believe it or not, I walked into the kitchen, smelled fish, and said, "Oh, New Bedford,
yeah.
Home, home, I miss it."
Take a couple of phone calls?
Sure, why not?
508-996-0500. Good morning. Welcome to Brian's Beat. You're on with Barry Depina.
Good morning, guys.
Morning.
I wanted to call in and say I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
I was there that night after, the whole situation, and I could feel right away that something wasn't right. I mean, just by when the police approached me. So I just wanted to call in and let you know that the city is here for you guys. And is there any way that the people can help your family out with donations or anything? Is there anything set up in that way?
I do know that there is a GoFund set up for my father. As far once again, this is all very sudden and fresh, and I'm still kind of going through the motions of all of this. But I know there is a GoFundMe, and I know that Bluebird Cab wants to do a benefit or a fundraiser. I know they want to do something like a breakfast. So there will be information coming out very shortly about what's going to go on. So
you can trust when they get it down that I'll get it on the air. Fair enough?
I appreciate that. You sound like a tough kid, and I appreciate how you're taking this and coming on and sharing your feelings with us. And to the New Bedford Police, they're absolutely amazing, and they got the job done. And I know sometimes we're very critical of them, but
I totally agree. I actually would like to send that shout out to the Massachusetts State Police and the New Bedford Police Department. They did a bang up job.
Hours later, and they have these two scumbags in custody.
Oh, they got him. They got him. So, with that said, now the hard part's over. We got him, but now we still got to make sure it sticks. So it's not over yet.
I have no relation to you guys or anything, but when I read the news that they caught him, tears came to my eyes. I was just overwhelmed with joy, because I could just imagine what the family's going through and his loved ones and everything. So, hang in there, bud, and keep us posted, okay?
Thank you for your call. I do appreciate it. 508-996-0500. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
My condolences about your death, sir.
Thank you very much.
I am very proud of the Bluebird Company. I worked for Bluebird Company back in the 70s when we still had to use an 8-point hat and the badge on the shirt pocket. And to hear on the news that they have cameras and everything for the protection of the driver, they have maintained that same respect that they always had in the city of New Bedford. Unfortunately, things like this happen, and I hope that they use this as an example to empower the police department so they can eradicate New Bedford of this bad character. Have a good day.
All right, thank you very much for your call. Do you want me to read this, or?
You can if you want.
All right, the district attorney just called over to the radio station. Your sister is at the courthouse, and they want all to be back there to talk with the DA in regards to all of this. So with that, what I'm going to do is give you a couple of more minutes to maybe wrap up. How did you find out, and when did you find out that these scumbags were in custody?
Well,
these alleged scumbags.
I will. I'll just give you the quick rundown of that night. I called my father at about 10:40, which was about 20 minutes before this all happened, and we spoke for a few minutes, just random stuff about my work, his work, and then as I've been telling people, I'm one of the luckiest people in the world because I got to end that conversation with "I love you" and "I love you too." And those were the final words I spoke to my father. So at about 11 o'clock-ish, I was having trouble breathing. It was weird. It was strange. I was having an asthma attack. I have asthma. And it was really odd that this has happened. I mean, I haven't had one in a while. So I tried calling my father several times. No answer. I went to his house at about 11 o'clock when all of this happened. I got back home. And when I got back home, I got a phone call from my sister saying they shot Dad. They shot Dad. Ran down to the hospital. Now, this is going to emphasize how strong my father was. My father's heart stopped beating 3 times, and they brought him back 3 times. On the 4th time, he let go. So we were there for about an hour or two, and that's when they came and told us what happened. They gave us more details, and I mean, pretty much everybody in the city kind of knows the rest. I mean, that's the Cliff Notes version of it, but...
more to the point, how did the district attorney or New Bedford Police, State Police, let you know that these guys were caught behind bars? Or did you just find out over the radio?
I actually got a phone call this morning at 7 o'clock in the morning, and as much as, you don't know what you're going to do in this situation until it happens, but I did know that I wanted to leave the police and the DA alone. I didn't want to call them every 2 hours because they have a job to do. And how are they going to do their job if I am sitting there constantly calling them? So I left them alone. And with that respect, they told me from the beginning, anything they found out, they would contact me. And sure enough, 7 o'clock this morning, I got that phone call stating that we got him. We got him.
Who called?
I actually got a call from the district attorney's assistant. So it was, it was very nice. It was very nice. She actually woke me up and she said, "I'm sorry for waking you up." And I said, "Don't be sorry about this. Don't be sorry. I'm thrilled."
I was going to say, how did you feel when you got that call?
Well, I mean, honestly, Ryan, you've seen me in the last few days. You've seen how I am today compared to the last few days. I think you can see a noticeable improvement. I mean, I'm smiling today. Everything today, I got out of bed, I got into my car to drive to the courthouse. My dad loved the first Transformers movie. He absolutely loved it, and Bumblebee was his favorite. Well, when I got to the set of lights on Brock Ave where 7-Eleven is, I got there, and a yellow Camaro passed right on the side of me. And I said, no, I can't. Well, I can't say those words on radio, but I said, no. And wow. I was like, there he is. He's racing me to the courthouse right now. And, I've been telling everybody today, my father, he was a jokester. He used to joke all the time, and he played one last joke on us. The first of the month was the day he always got his benefits, and he used to tell everybody, the first is my day.
I'm not working
on the first. I'm not working.
Nope.
The first is my day.
Big payday for drivers, and he doesn't want to work.
Yep, I'm not working on the first. Nope, not at all. Well, today's the first, and it's his day.
And he's not working.
And he's not.
All right. Hey, Barry, I know I'm going to see you quite often. That's a given considering what's going on. So you take care. You get over to the courthouse. You tell your brother and sister the best for me and the Bluebird family. I'm sure that Victor and others will be over there today. Keep your wits to you, because
I will.
I know tensions are going to be a little high over there.
It is. I would just, before I go, I'd like to say one final thing. Thank you to everybody that is, I mean, I could say for hours thanking every individual person, but thank you to my family. Thank you to my friends. Thank you to the strangers that I don't know that have just this outpouring of support. I mean, I would like to send, special shout outs to Bluebird Cab. Thank you very much for that. I would also like to send special shout outs to Ricardo's Towing, which is the company I work for, because those guys have banded together to support me in unbelievable ways. I honestly don't know what it's like to be loved by the company you work for until this happened. And these two companies have both reached out, and anything I needed, they've been there. No questions asked. So I'd like to say thank you, and I'd especially like to say thank you to you, Brian. Yeah. Thank you for bringing this to the attention of the people. Thank you for talking about this. I know how my father felt about you, and I know how you felt about my father.
Yeah, I miss the guy. I really do.
He wouldn't have it any other way.
No. Hey, can I ask one more question before I let you go?
Go ahead.
You've seen the video, correct?
I have not, because
you didn't?
I have not seen the video because I don't want to see the video.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's something that I don't think I'm ready for just quite yet.
Yeah. That good.
I know my limitations.
Maybe it's best that you don't.
Yeah, I know my limitations, and my support system. My support system is so great. It's so wonderful that I don't know if I could have made it without all these people in my corner. Like, you hear about these things, but you never really see it until it's amazing. Through all of the bad things that have happened in the city in the past and stuff, I have never seen this city, and not even just the city, the state, come together like it has for my father.
You heard the mayor say, we're going to get the perpetrators. You heard the police say it. You heard the district attorney's office, the state police, and these guys, scumbag, excuse me.
That's okay. We got them.
They stuck themselves out like a sore thumb, and you'll pardon me if I sound cavalier when I say that. Gotcha.
Yep. Exactly.
All right, Barry, got to let you go, my man. Thank you. Appreciate it much. Barry Depina in studio today on Brian's Beat.